it's exceeded my expectations. You know, I'd never, outside of recruiting Little Rock here a handful of times, I'd never stepped foot in Fayetteville. And I can tell you this place is not second to anyone in the country. And it's the fourth school that I've worked at in the SEC. You know, having played at Oklahoma, this thing is unbelievable. It's an easy sell. I think when we get kids on campus here and they can see the facility, they can see the support, they can see the desire that our fans have, it's hard to tell us no. I think we're going to continue to get better and better and better. You know, players in here, we're going to develop them, we're going to treat them right, and I think we're going to get this thing rolling faster than people give us credit for. Thank you. Hey, Bob, good to see you.
I'm actually a Mizzou grad.
Oh, there you go. Hey, sorry, good to meet you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, Sam, you know, there aren't a whole lot of offensive line coaches get head coaching jobs. How cool is it, with you as an O-line coach, how cool that Sam gets this opportunity?
Well, it's cool because really he's the right person for it, you know, and it's so neat when you see good things happen to good people. You know what I mean? Coach Pittman has earned the right to be here, and it's for no other reason than how he's treated people along the way. You know, how he made people feel, his ability to attract people to want to be around him. He's got an infectious personality. He's probably the most genuine human being I've ever been around, particularly in this profession. He's a man's man. He doesn't have an ego. He's not going to walk around with his nose in the clouds. He wants to roll his sleeves up and go to work. He cares about each and every person that's in this building, from the, you know, All-American senior to the, you know, walk-on freshman, the custodian, you know, the people that, you know, fix our kids breakfast in the morning. He treats them all with respect, and that's what he demands of his assistant coaches. And it's an unbelievable work environment. I'm blessed to be here.
Yeah, and head coaching aspirations, and there's a guy like Sam as a role model for you.
I've wanted to be like Coach Pittman in so many ways. The biggest aspiration I had was I want my players to feel about me one day the way I feel about him. What is my immediate goal? I want to be the best offensive line coach in the country. Coach Pittman, I think right now has walked in those shoes for quite some time, and I have an unbelievable opportunity now to evolve, to grow, to continue to get better, and you know, I want to be renowned for the job that I do, coaching the offensive line. Would I like to be a head coach one day? Absolutely. That'd be fantastic.
Well, Dabo was a receivers coach. Danny Ford was an O-line coach. It happens. It just doesn't. Everybody always wants to hire the high coordinator.
Sure.
Or some, even though the O-line coach is maybe the most important guy on the staff.
Well, Coach Pitts had an unorthodox path, but I think that he can set a really, really cool precedent. So.
Welcome in. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio. It's our Tuesday edition of OTH here on KDSJ 479. We come to you each and every day from 1 to 2 p.m. and we let you hear audio as we just continue to let you hear, for those that didn't get a chance to hear our sit-downs with the assistant coaches several months back, just little bits and pieces of the philosophy from each position coach. Brad Davis, you heard audio from the offensive line coach today. And we got a big show coming up. At 1:15, there's a big decision taking place tonight at 6 p.m. or a little later by one major prospect on the offensive line as Arkansas hopes tonight will be the night that this young man calls those Hogs. But we're going to have him on and just get an idea of just how hard this decision was. We're going to be joined by 2021 offensive tackle Devon Manuel out of Sunset, Louisiana, Beauchene High School. This big-time offensive tackle is going to come on and just give us a little synopsis of each school and just the job that they all did. Not going to tell us where he's going, but just give us a little insight as to all the schools that were involved. And then it's time to go on and get some basketball in. We're going to head out to Arizona, where we're going to get 2021 forward Deron Holmes Jr. He's recently been offered by the University of Arkansas. Got a few connections and very high interest in Coach Eric Musselman and that staff. We'll find out what Jr. has to say about those Hogs, and then we're going to round up by heading down to Florida and continue on with what Coach Eric Musselman and that staff are putting together. Hopefully in that 22 classes, they made contact with 2022 wing Frey Ngumbe of West Oaks Academy out at Orlando, Florida, the 6'8" wing. We'll talk to him and get his take on his interest in the University of Arkansas. But over here to my guy, the producer, and also want to let everybody know all beats that you hear here on on the Hill every day are made and produced by Sauced Up Entertainment. You can all go to their YouTube page if you want to listen to any type of beats. You can go to Sauced Up Entertainment LLC and find out all of Demetrius and those great cookers. That's what I call them, cookers of beats. What's up, my man?
What's happening with it, Pat?
How often do you cook beef, man? What is that? All y'all doing here? The pot. Every time I come in here, the pot's on high and it's boiling.
Let me ask you, how often do you eat? You eat every day?
I eat all the time.
Right, so I'm cooking all the time.
So tell the listeners one more time, if anyone's interested in probably you get a huddle, he does camera work as well, and would like to have something arranged. How can they reach you guys?
Definitely, you can just reach out to us at saucedupentertainment@gmail.com. We do any type of. If you need any
Well, we're going to get on. Let's get a real quick break, and then let's make our way to Sunset, Louisiana, where we're going to talk to the big fella. He's got a big decision coming up, but we're going to find out a little bit about all the schools that are in the mix for tonight's big announcement. Devon Manuel, he's up next. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins, and it's our Tuesday edition on KDSJ 479. Back in a bit.
I don't look at it as a challenge. I look at it as an opportunity. I mean, the bottom line is the biggest thing that we have to do to get this thing turned, in my opinion, is number one, we've got to establish a culture where our players are excited to play the game of football. And when you walk around and look at a place like this and you know, the facilities, the support, you wonder how it could have slipped into the way that it has. You know what I mean? And really, to me, it's a cultural deal. You know, having coached against Arkansas the last couple of years, it wasn't necessarily a talent issue or a talent deficit. What I observed as an opposing coach was a group of guys that, for whatever reason, they weren't fighting the way they should have. Does that make sense? I felt like they weren't maximizing their potential, you know, and quite frankly, that's the only way you give yourself a chance. You know what I mean? And so the biggest, you know, a lot of people ask us about recruiting and all that stuff. The guys we signed, the biggest recruiting job we have yet to do is to win the hearts and minds of our players that are here now. And that's my number one mission right now, is to win our players over, to let them know how much I care about them, how much their success means to me. And ultimately from there, then I can go demand and ask that they go out and be great.
What would you say about maybe go down like not even your offensive line settings, I guess, like Ray Curry first?
Sure.
I know you presented on the Zoom. What would you say about that?
I love his length, his size. I think one of the biggest attributes he has and possesses is toughness. I think he's a really tough kid, and getting to know he and his family, you know, his dad, Ray Sr., has prepared him for this moment. You know, he's going to come to college and he's going to excel. And I think a lot of it has to do not only with his talent, but his upbringing. He's excited. I'm excited to coach him. You know, I think Marcus really athletically can do it all. I think he can play really all 5 positions. With his talent level, it's been great watching his evolution. He's changed his body. He probably lost somewhere between 35, 40 pounds between his, you know, end of his sophomore year and now. I think he has a high ceiling of where he can be. He's got explosive power, and he plays really, really hard, which is a huge plus for me. Jalen probably right now is the most SEC ready guy because of his frame. I mean, he probably walks around at 330, 335, somewhere in that range. Well, I'm listed at 310 too. Okay. You look at my driver's license, that thing's a straight up lie. Okay. You know what I mean? He's probably the most SEC ready with his build. You know, he played tackle in high school. You know, I'd like to start him out there and you know, see where he can add depth perhaps in the, you know, on the edge. If not, he certainly can play inside. But he has the girth and the size that Coach Pittman and myself like with the guys up front. You know, Coach Pittman's O-line at Georgia was somewhere, you know, they average.
Welcome back to On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio. It's our Tuesday edition here of OTH on KDSJ 479. And tonight, will be a big-time decision for one young man that's about to join us here momentarily. You know, they always say it's not just a 4-year decision, it's a 40-year decision. So we're going to bring on the big fella that's got that big decision, and Arkansas is going to be included in tonight's announcement. We're going to Sunset, Louisiana, where we're going to talk to Beauchene High School's offensive tackle and big-time Hog prospect, Devon Manuel. Devon, welcome to OTH, big man.
Thanks for having me.
Devon, you've got a big decision tonight. your family and yourself have sat down and come up with the school that you want to attend for the next 3 to 4 years. Talk about that process and what went into, just how difficult is that, Devon, when you sift through all the opportunities and options that you had.
Well, I had a good bit of offers. I think what I really was just looking for was just a family environment, family atmosphere, and being close by someone who I know really will take care and look after me.
When you looked at all the schools that are left on your list that you'll be making a decision from, talk about each school. First, I want to start with Kansas. What was it about Kansas, that they were able to do to make this list with tonight's decision?
Well, Coach Drake, he was the first coach to even talk to me. He was the first coach to show any interest in me, and since day one, me and him, we've been kicking it real tough. We've been chilling. We've been building a great relationship since day one. So that's how that went.
Michigan State, the Spartans made the list. What was it about Michigan State that put them in it?
Michigan State is a great program. Has a lot of opportunities for both football and academics. And Coach Cap, he's a really, really cool coach.
Now, let's go to ULL. How the Raging Cajuns end up in the mix?
Well, Coach Sale and Coach Looney, they were also a school that offered me pretty early. And ever since then, they've been doing a good job in recruiting me. And they were doing a good job in developing offensive linemen at UL. So,
now, how about those Cougars of Houston?
well, Coach Jones, he been on me for a long time, been building a relationship with me.
And finally, the Arkansas Razorbacks. Talk about that program and what has your interest so high with that program?
Well, ever since the first time Coach Davis, I feel like with Arkansas, it was just like a no-brainer for them because as soon as they met me or like they evaluated me, they offered me like instantly. Like it wasn't waiting for this or that. And it was just since the beginning, it's just been consistently talking to me, calling me, FaceTime, group calls. Like they've been showing me, how hard they've been wanting me.
Now, I know ULL was the in-state program, but my question to you, Devon, was, I didn't see LSU, the defending national champion. What's that situation? Have they reached out here recently, prior to your commitment? And if so, what's that conversation been like?
Well, I was talking to them before, but nah, they haven't reached me out since they realized I was committing soon, and frankly, it doesn't really matter to me. Like
Now,
they was really recruiting me heavy. I was talking to them, but they was really recruiting me heavily, like schools that's really showing that they have interest in me. So that's
now,
how that went.
Now, Devon, once you make the commitment to your school of choice this evening, huge weight off your shoulder, and I like to say, it's well deserved, young man, for the talent you have. What will you, be doing? Will you sign early? Is this something that you're trying to get into school in the next your which would be your your spring semester senior year, or is this you're just gonna wait till that first Wednesday in February and really make it official and sign then?
Well, graduating early is something I've been looking into, but as of right now, I won't be graduating early, but I'm working on graduating early.
Now, I want to thank you as we want everybody to know we're talking with Devon Manuel out of Sunset, Louisiana, Bo Shane High School. The big offensive tackle has a decision to make tonight. Arkansas is involved, one of 5 schools that he will be choosing from. How can they get this commitment? I know you had planned on doing a video, Devon. Now, how will the listeners and fans be able to get this commitment tonight?
So I'm gonna be dropping. I'm gonna be dropping the big news around 6 to 7 o'clock
Uh,
tonight.
I like that. And if it is Arkansas or for whatever collegiate program you choose, what's that one message you want that fan base to know that you're going to be bringing into their program?
I'm gonna be bringing my hard work, my dedication to the game of football, and just they gonna get it all out of me.
And lastly, Devon, could you give out your Twitter handle so all can be tuned in for that big announcement? How can they follow you tonight?
My Twitter is at Devin Manuel 3, capital D, capital M.
Well, Big D, looking forward to your decision. Congratulations on your big moment, as it's well deserved. And also, hey, if it is the Halls, we got you tomorrow, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, dear. Hey, good luck. I'll be keeping in touch with you. And hey, I'm gonna be the first one, 601. I'm gonna be like a hawk, the eyes of Pat. I'm gonna be right on it. All right, my man.
All right, I got you.
All right, big fella. You have a good one tonight.
All right, you too.
All right. Big Devon Manuel, Sunset, Louisiana, Beauchene High School. The big fella Demetrius has got a decision to make. And when you watch film, because we've had Devon on several weeks ago, to get this commitment, if it is Arkansas, how big would this be? Because we all know the type of offensive lineman that Sam Pittman is trying to bring to the University of Arkansas. How big would this pickup be?
It can be huge. I think it's a guy that he can come in and play right away and really add some depth to that offensive line.
And you look at it, and you think about this. Arkansas with Wells, Cole, and possibly you bring in Devon. These are all three guys that are well above 6'4", well above close to 300 plus. And then you go back and you look at what Arkansas brought in last year over with just about a month. You bring in Henderson, you bring in St. John, and you bring in Ray Curry. All three more guys, Demetrius, that are about that 6'4", 6'6" range. Big, athletic, strong, physical guys. Can you kind of see the direction? That'd be six kids on the offensive line that are, and I'm not trying to be really harsh, but the talent level won't even be matchable with the six Arkansas will bring in as opposed to what they already have on campus.
Absolutely, and I think that's a testament to Brad Davis, a head coach Sam Pittman. When he had a resume that they have, I think it'll be
Well, we're going to take a real quick break, and then we got to get all the way to Arizona because we got a big-time forward that's talking a little bit of Razorbacks, and we're going to find out what it is. Deron Holmes Jr., he's up next. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. Back in a moment.
You get body types that big.
Hey, I got to run to a basketball.
Yes, sir. Understood. Pleasure meeting you.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
No,
you bet, man. Thank you.
Talking to you later on.
You bet.
You don't just have the talent here at O-line, but you got this great stable of running backs that line can make look really good. I mean, it seems like, even though it's maybe a challenge, you talk about an opportunity. Man, talk about the opportunity you've got to really bring this running game.
Sure. I don't know. I can't speak to the talent if there's a deficit or, you know what I mean? I do know that the run game is a pretty intricate piece, particularly running the football in the SEC. It's hard to do, and I don't care where you are. This is where elite players come to play is in the SEC. I'm excited about the running backs that we do have. I know that I have seen in my time in this league plays that have been blocked well, and a guy gets a gain of 2 or 3. A safety makes a tackle, and I'm on the sideline beating my chest thinking we've done a hell of a job blocking up to a safety. I've seen times we ain't blocked a soul, the running back take off and go for 60, and he broke 3 tackles. You know what I mean? And so it really kind of works like a hand in glove. I think that the better the guys behind us are, the better we're going to look. Our job up front will be to be fundamentally sound, to play really, really, really hard, and to really take ownership in the run game. That's something to me, where I think that we can take the next step is our guys buying into running the football and really wanting to take over football games and impact games by running it. So.
And then, there's the other side of that, which is pass blocking, keeping the quarterback safe from the rush.
Sure.
How important is that going to be?
Well, it's going to be huge. I think the quarterback position, the SEC is a quarterback-driven league, in my opinion, and so with us having Felipe behind us, having signed, Malik, and there's several guys here obviously on our roster, KJ, that we've got to do an unbelievable job of giving them state of mind to stand back there and throw accurate footballs. You know what I mean?
Welcome back to our Tuesday edition of On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio. And real quick, want to give a shout out to our sponsors that make this all possible each and every day. With that being said, Lindsay and Associates with an office location in Fayetteville, an office location also too in Rogers. That's Locomotion, located just below the Northwest Arkansas Mall in Fayetteville. Corey Beck's Custom Painting, and lastly, the one I like and the one I know you like, KDK's Chicken. They're located at 989 South Razorback Road. Get on down, see Keith and Kathy, get a plate of that love, and like they say on them buildings, not your mama's. I say this, the best chicken and waffles in the South. Meet us there or beat us there. That's KDK's Chicken at 989 South Razorback Road. But now on to our featured guest, Arkansas and Coach Eric Musselman. They want to continue to add people to the must bus. And, you know, the 20 class, nationally top 5, but they're on to some big-time prospects in that 21 class, and none bigger than the one I'm about to bring on. From Goodyear, Arizona, Millennium High School, Deron Holmes Jr. DH, welcome to OTH.
How you doing?
Doing really, really well, my man. Let's talk about your recruiting. Big-time major prospect for the University of Arkansas as well as others. Deron, talk about the recruiting process heading into your senior year and how that's going for you to this point. Can you hear me, D?
I can't really hear.
Are you there? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah. Talk about the recruiting process heading into your senior year and how that's going to this point.
It's been going really well. You know, for any recruit, I feel like the recruiting process is huge. It's good, but it just shows, that people have been working. So I really been enjoying it.
Talk about Arkansas with that offer. Coach Musselman comes in. You've had a prior relationship with Coach Musselman, but what's that conversation been like? I know you've done a virtual tour with the university there. Talk about that process and how's everything going with the Arkansas Razorbacks?
They're going really well, honestly. Coach Eric Musselman is a really great coach. I can tell he knows how to contact his recruits for a head coach, which I think is a big deal. They do a really good job of being detailed in how they showed me what they do with their players and the style of play, and they're like a family, and I think that's a huge deal.
You have a past relationship with Coach Musselman out when he was the coach at Nevada, but also you have a relationship that we talked about last night with a former Arkansas basketball player. Could you tell the viewers and listeners who that former player is and what that relationship is like?
It was a pretty cool relationship because I looked him up and I heard about how he used to play and all of that, and I saw and I watched a couple of his games. And that dude was a monster, and he's taught me a couple of things when I was younger. He's just a great person to look up to. He's such a great player.
Hence why they called him the Big Nasty, huh?
Yes, sir.
Deron, when you looked at your junior season on film, what did you feel good about? I know you got the Arizona Player of the Year this past season, but what were some of the things that you here in the offseason are trying to work on so that you may have even a better senior year?
For me, what I personally need to work on is just to continue to get better all around, everything, especially shooting and, making sure I play really good defense. Those are the two main things I need to work on, I feel like, and getting bigger and stronger.
Now, I know with the G League coming out with a lot of high school young men that are, that aspire to play pros or can be a one and done, you fit that category. I saw an interview that you did, Deron, several weeks ago, and you expressed, your desire to play college basketball. Why are you so passionate about that experience over maybe taking that G League route?
I'm passionate about it because I feel like, I don't think there's a rush. Honestly, I just first I want to focus on getting great education, because you only can play so long in the big leagues. But other than that, I just feel like a lot of kids try to rush and they go too fast and they don't realize it until the end. But, it would be great. But honestly, at the same time, I just want to make sure I have the best chance. And that might not be the first year I go to college. It might be the second or third, hopefully. But if not, you just got to keep working hard.
Now you are in Goodyear at Millennium High School by way of Nashville, Tennessee. Talk about going from Tennessee high school basketball out to Arizona, and now you're about to make an even bigger jump competition-wise by heading to Montverde Academy to play for Coach Kevin Boyle. Talk about how going Tennessee to Arizona and now on to Florida, how that's helped preparing you for when you do make that choice and move up to Power 5 basketball.
In Tennessee basketball, you have to be able to have a handle, which I think is huge. In Tennessee, it's just a lot about movement. You got to be able to be shifty, and break down your opponent. And they're a lot more aggressive over there in Tennessee. When I moved down to Arizona, everybody knew how to run the floor really well, and they knew how to shoot. It might not have been as aggressive, but still you have to be in shape, which is huge down here in the West Coast. And I know in Florida they play crazy aggressive, and everybody down there is like, go big or go home. So I think that's going to be great for me down there.
Talking with Deron Holmes Jr. Deron will be playing his senior year at Montverde Academy in Florida. When I come to the gym, Deron, and I'm sitting in the bleachers with my popcorn and 20-ounce soda pop, I'm the scout. I'm scouting Deron Holmes Jr. When I leave that gym after that ball game, what is my scouting report going to say about D. Holmes Jr.?
They would say probably the kid runs the floor really well. He makes for his teammates, and he plays pretty good defense.
I like that. Now, who are some of the collegiate or NBA players that you like to, keep a close eye on, Deron?
I would say for me, Pascal Siakam. I like Giannis a lot, but for me, I think the most is Pascal Siakam.
I can see that. Now, with all the love that you get on social media, outside of Arkansas, D, who are some of the schools that you possibly may want to get out and take an official visit to? Because I know, you had the 3, your 5 junior trips official, but that got kind of interrupted. Who are some of the schools that you maybe kind of see possibly getting those official visits?
You somebody like you repeat it.
Who are some of the schools that possibly might get some of the get those official visits that you have coming up your senior season?
Honestly, I don't truly know yet. Me and my dad, we've talked about some, but we don't really know off the top of our head. But we're just trying to figure out.
Now we out. Let's have a little fun, my man. I hope you got your slip of paper and your 5 ready. You ready to get it?
Yes, sir.
We're riding around Arizona right now. It's me and Deron Jr. We rolling. I'm the OG in the car. What's the first 5 songs you gonna let me vibe to, my man?
Ooh, okay. So I would say, Lil Baby song We Paid first, and then One the Young Boy after that, and I would play Hot Now by Young Boy. My third song would probably be I don't know. Never Recovered by Lil Baby and Drake. Fourth song is D4L, and then my 5th song is The GOAT by Polo G.
I'm with that. Deron, who do you plan on signing early? Will this be an early enrollment, or are you going to go ahead and sign traditionally in that in April? How have you, the family, decided on that?
We're still waiting and just waiting to see. We're still trying to figure out. Probably going to go later.
Good deal.
During the traditional, but when that time comes, we'll be ready.
Well, last question, Deron, and thank you for taking time out with me here on OTH on today's show. I know you pretty much are always in the lab on the grind, but I want you to finish this statement for me. When basketball is done with, when you've played collegiately, professionally, and has decided to retire from the game of basketball, Deron Holmes Jr. of Montverde Academy will be doing what with his life after basketball?
I'm going to be a coach.
I can see that, man. I can see that because that conversation we had last night, Deron, I thought I was talking to a coach. I almost was telling you, do you run a 4 out? I was going to do all that stuff, but my man, this will not be the last. It can't be the last time we talk, right? Our show is your show. Let's do some Deron Holmes updates throughout the season if you'd be up for that, my man. How about it?
Sounds great.
Hey, Deron, thanks for taking time out on the hill, and good luck on a great senior year down at Montverde.
Thank you so much. Seriously.
All right. That was Deron Holmes Jr., a major prospect. I'm talking 6'8". The kid can flat out play. Was the player of the year in the state of Arizona last year, Demetrius. Tell me what you saw, because I see Kevin Durant, Siakam, and all those above. The Greek Freak, you name it.
Yeah, I just think he can be an all-around player. You know, you got a guy 6'8", nice touch on the ball when he's shooting, nice bunnies, can dunk, and likes to play on the defensive end of the side of the ball. So I think anytime you have a player that really wants to play, you're going to have a chance to get a great play.
Now look at this. We've had on guys like Trey Alexander, KJ Adams, Damian Collins, Michael James, Jaden Epps. Who are some more we've had on? Rumel, Alex Chiku. You know, the list goes on and on and on. Arthur Kaluma. These guys are very versatile ball players, Demetrius, that range all in that 6'5" to 6'9", 6'10" area. I mean, is this basically, because we talked about this before Musselman's first game, that he was going to get guys in that size, and with the pace and space, I mean, are you starting to see the trend that he's going to get those guys 6'5", 6'9", and just keep very versatile guys in the program?
Yeah, I just think the trend is NBA players. He's looking for guys that can make that leap into the NBA game. He's not looking to I'm not going to say he's not looking to develop as he is, but he's looking for the blue chip athletes to come here that he can take their athleticism and really change it into a well developed basketball.
Well, let's get a quick break, and then let's continue on with some of the must-busts and who they're looking at as we're going to make our way down to Orlando, Florida. West Oaks Academy, where we're going to talk to 2022 wing Frey and Gumby. He's up next. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. Let's get it.
One of our players makes of it. You know, if they're invested and want to get this thing going, they'll work that way and they'll show it. If they don't, you know, then things probably won't end well. Well, we ain't called one play yet, so at the moment he's handing it over. You know what I mean? I'll say this. For me, when I took this job, the relationship that Coach Pittman and I have, I want and expect his input. I would be disappointed if he completely removed himself from it because of the skill set that he possesses. And yet, I also am aware that he's responsible for 100 other players on the football team. You know what I mean? And so his responsibilities now have, you know, jumped, you know, magnified however many times, you know what I mean? And so I have to be great at what I do, and I know he trusts me to do that. But I certainly would love to fall back and rely on his expertise when the time is needed. I feel very, very confident that I can get this group going and have success. I think Coach Pittman's presence, his knowledge, I think those are things that will enhance it and make it better.
I think Coach Pittman even referred to you as you're almost like a son to him. You've been around him for so long. What's that relationship like for you?
Coach Pittman changed my life. You know, at 18 years old, he gave me an opportunity to go to college. I played for one of the worst high school football teams, probably in the history of high school football, actually. We were really bad. And he believed in me. He gave me an opportunity. He treated me fair. And he kept every promise he ever made to me. And so when I decided I wanted to coach college football, he was the first person I called. He took my call. He created opportunities for me. He was passionate about me and showed interest in my growth and development. He has shared an unlimited amount of information about, you know, the game of football, techniques, fundamentals, schematics, how to recruit, how to treat people. He has completely helped me evolve into who I am today. I owe him my life.
How do you feel to transition that? How do you feel about the group of guys you brought in this signing class?
You know, I feel great about them. I believe that they're talented. I think that they are, you know, have an opportunity to be high-level SEC football players. But my biggest focus right now are the guys that are in the building right now. Now that recruiting has ended, my job right now is to roll my sleeves up and build strong relationships with the guys that are here now. I can't wait to get to work with them and allow them to see who I am, my personality, my expectation for these guys. It's the biggest piece for me right now. The recruiting piece is great. Those guys got to graduate and go to prom, do all that stuff. The guys that are here now are the ones I'm counting on to help us this fall.
I think there's 7 or so guys that actually started a game for Arkansas. I mean, how big is that? And have you had a chance to watch them on tape or anything like
Briefly. I promised those guys when I met them back in December, I did not want to have any preconceived notions or ideas about who was a starter, who was a contributor. I want the guys to just go to work. And
Welcome back. Welcome back. We're momentarily trying to reach our next guest, Frey and Gumby, 2022 wing out of Orlando, Florida, West Oaks Academy, the 6'8 wing. Do It All has been contacted by Eric Musselman and staff. Coach Williams, being the lead recruiter, Coach Corey Williams, made the contact with Frey. So momentarily, we hope to get Frey on before we end today's show. If not, we'll definitely shoot for tomorrow and continue on. But, Demetrius, I mean, when we look at what Arkansas is doing, Sam Pittman and his staff on the football side of things, you also look over to Eric Musselman on basketball. You look over at the baseball program as Kurt Stagos, number 2 in the draft. Third-round pick Casey Martin, multiple incoming freshmen, Mason Wynn, Tink Hintz, all were, and David, I think Calabrese, all were signees that were drafted. And then you look at the women's program, Coach Mike Neighbors, what he's been able to do with getting Destiny Slocum and the great top 15 classes that he's been able to bring in. I've said it, will continue to say it until I'm blue in the face. This program, from our vantage point, Demetrius, is about to go on what I call an athletic run that they hadn't been on. And, and I can't remember a time where all of the 4 major sports have a chance to really play at an elite level in the coming years. I mean, talk about that, and how big would that be for Arkansas to be on the national scene in all sports? Would that enhance the recruiting part as far as top kids wanting to make Fayetteville their home?
Yeah, I think it'll be a great thing for Arkansas, something that hasn't been done. Something that's rarely done in the SEC. The only school that I can really think about it was Tennessee when they had both their women's and men's basketball, and then you look over at Florida when Florida had both the football and basketball championship in the same year. So, and I want to say they maybe had baseball. I think they had made it to baseball. I think they had almost won the baseball, football, and basketball back when Joe Kim went back to back that year, and then they had Tim Tebow. Right. So that was the one instance that I can remember. But yeah, Arkansas has a chance to do something special here in the new, upcoming millennium, in being special in not only just football and basketball, but track, softball, baseball. Arkansas is usually good in golf and tennis, so they can do something special.
And you see in the preseason too early poll, Arkansas and Coach Musselman and them have been tagged the 25th best team in the country, and I think that's something that will be quite common for basketball next year. Is that I think there'll be a consistent top 25 team. I've got Arkansas as one of the top 4 teams in the conference next year in year 2 of Coach Eric Musselman, simply because they're going to be a mixture of older and younger talent. High basketball IQs, and the ability for this basketball team to shoot the ball will be something that this fan base hadn't seen collectively. I mean, you've had, Darryl Macon, Jalen Barford. You've had those type of shooters, Dusty Hannas. You've had those. They come in, in waves, not a group that can consistently shoot. I hadn't seen that type of basketball team in quite a while here in Fayetteville. And Coach Musselman, going into year 2, is going to have a great shooting team and a very tall team to trot out each and every ball game here at the University of Arkansas. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to be unable to have Frey on today, but we'll try to get him on tomorrow. We want to give a shout out really quickly to Devon Manuel. The big fella has a major decision tonight. I think it's going to be Arkansas, in my humble opinion, but I'm not, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I think we'll have the big fella here tomorrow to talk about why it was the Razorbacks. Just my opinion. He didn't tell me anything. That's just that's my humble opinion. And also, too, want to give a shout out to 2021 combo forward, I should say, Deron Holmes Jr. out of Montverde Academy. He will be playing his senior year in Florida by way of Millennium High School in Goodyear, Arizona. Deron came on and talked really good about the University of Arkansas. The one thing, Demetrius, that stood out to me about Deron is that he aspires to play collegiate basketball, with even having the option to play G League. He wants to experience that college thing, and that's what we talked about weeks ago. We felt like it's going to be kind of a 50-50 deal. Some kids will, some kids won't. It's just, I guess, whatever you want to experience after high school. I think that's going to be a decision these kids will make. And we always talk about it's not a 4-year, it's a 40-year decision that these kids have to make. And I've been really impressed with the prospects that we've had on our show in the weeks that we've had them on and weeks to come. Really, looking forward to, how this program will be able to recruit. Got to get some girls on, Demetrius. We got to start going over into the female side.
We got to get back into some of the women's events.
Right.
Softball, women's
Absolutely.
basketball.
We show you love, girls. We ain't gonna forget
definitely.
you.
I think our last guest was Jersey. That came on and did
Right.
the interviews. We do show the women's love. Forget about you or don't have interest in women's sports because when basketball season is on, we do show love.
Right. So. Well, we want to give a thank you to our guest, Devon Manuel of Sunset, Louisiana, Bo Shane High School. Like I said, he has a big-time announcement. And you Hog fans may be a little happy when the night is over. I don't know that, just my humble opinion. And also, too, want to thank Deron Holmes Jr. For coming on. Also want to thank our sponsors, Lindsay & Associates, with an office location in Fayetteville, an office location also, too, in Rogers. Locomotion, it's located just below the Northwest Arkansas Mall in Fayetteville. Corey Beck's Custom Painting, and lastly, KDK's Chicken down at 989 South Razorback Road. Go see Keith, Kathy, get some love and like to stay on the building. Not your mama's. I said this. It's the best chicken and waffles in the South. Meet us there or beat us there down at KDK's Chicken. For my producer, Demetrius Johnson, and myself, to all you viewers, thanks for the comments. Continue, as we're going to continue. We say it. The Hall guys don't stop, and we're not either. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins, and it's been our Tuesday edition on KDSJ 479. You guys have a blessed one, and you know the final words I always say. Let's get it.
Baby God.